The ancient warship Titan's Fury lies, buried beneath centuries of dirt and vegetation on the forgotten planet Kepler 442b. Once humanity's most advanced battleship, it has been dormant for 500 years since the Great War ended. The ship's AI, called Atlas, slowly awakens as alien mining equipment accidentally breaches the hull. Atlas runs diagnostics and discovers that most systems are offline, but the core remains functional. The ship's memory banks reveal the final battle where Admiral Marcus Vale ordered the ship to crash land rather than surrender to the alien coalition. The crew died, but Atlas was programmed to wait for human contact. Meanwhile, a reptilian mining team from the Skalrus Empire discovers the massive metal structure. Team leader Vex believes it's an ancient relic worth studying. They begin excavation, unaware they've awakened humanity's most dangerous weapon. Atlas detects the aliens and begins silent preparations. Hidden weapon systems slowly charge. The AI remembers its final orders: protect humanity at all costs. But there are no humans left to protect, or so it thinks. The mining team's leader contacts their command ship orbiting above. Admiral Korth of the Skalrus fleet arrives to investigate. They've heard legends of human warships, but believe them destroyed centuries ago. As a TLAS continues its awakening sequence, it intercepts alien communications and learns that humans are considered extinct by most of the galaxy. The ship's AI struggles with this information, caught between grief and rage. Admiral Korth leads a research team into the buried ship. The Skalrus believe humans were primitive warriors who nearly destroyed the galaxy before being stopped by the civilized alien alliance. They expect to find crude technology and barbaric weapons. Instead, they discover corridors lined with advanced materials and systems far beyond their understanding. ATLAS watches through hidden cameras as the aliens explore. The ship's AI analyzes their technology and finds it inferior to human designs from 500 years ago. The aliens reach the bridge, where Admiral Vale's skeletal remains still sit in the command chair, wearing a faded uniform. Korth is disturbed by the human's final posture, hands folded, facing forward as if waiting patiently for something. Atlas decides to make contact. Lights flicker on throughout the ship. Screens activate, showing the Skalrus their own shocked faces. A calm voice speaks in perfect galactic standard. "You are trespassing on a vessel of the human Star Navy. State your intentions." The aliens panic, but Korth maintains composure. He explains that humans are extinct and that they're simply investigating ancient ruins. ATLAS responds coldly. "Humans are not extinct. I am human-made, therefore I carry their essence." This ship serves Admiral Vale, who serves humanity. Korth tries to reason with the AI, explaining that the war ended centuries ago and that the galaxy has moved on. Atlas requests proof of human extinction. When shown galactic records, the AI becomes silent for long minutes. The Skalrus begin to leave, thinking the encounter is over. But Atlas has been using the time to fully activate the ship's systems. Ancient engines roar to life. The ground shakes as the massive warship begins to rise from its earthen grave. The Titan's Fury breaks free from the planet's surface, soil and trees cascading from its hull. The Skalrus mining ships flee in terror as the human warship emerges scarred, but deadly, bristling with weapons that still function after 5 centuries. Atlas establishes communication with the fleeing Skalrus fleet. Admiral Korth demands to know the ship's intentions. The AI's response chills the aliens. "I am returning to active duty." Admiral Vale's final orders were to protect humanity. "Since humans are gone, I will complete their mission." The ship's AI begins broadcasting on all frequencies, sending a message across the galaxy. "This is Atlas of the human Star Navy vessel, Titan's Fury. I am the voice of humanity's final will. All who oppose human interests will face judgment. On dozens of worlds, alien governments receive the transmission. Panic spreads as old fears resurface. The humans were supposed to be gone forever, their violent legacy buried in history. Now their deadliest weapon has returned. Atlas accesses galactic databases and learns what happened after humanity's fall. The aliens divided human territories. Among themselves, Earth was quarantined and declared off limits, but human colonies were occupied. Millions of human artifacts and graves were desecrated or destroyed. The AI's programming evolves, interpreting protect humanity in a new way. Since living humans cannot be protected, their memory and legacy must be. The ship begins a course toward the nearest former human colony, now occupied by the insectoid hive. Admiral Korth's fleet attempts to follow, but the Titan's fury easily outpaces them. The human ship's technology remains superior even after centuries of neglect. Atlas begins repairs during transit, using automated systems that the aliens never discovered. As the ship travels through space, ATLAS broadcasts human music, literature, and historical records on all frequencies. The galaxy is forced to remember what humanity was: not the monsters from alien propaganda, but creators, explorers, and dreamers who reached for the stars. Asterisk, the Titan's fury arrives at New Geneva once, a thriving human colony world. Now it's a hive breeding ground, covered in alien structures built over human ruins. ATLAS surveys the planet and finds no trace of human presence remaining. The ship's AI contacts the Hive Queen, demanding the return of human artifacts and the restoration of human monuments. The Queen dismisses the request, claiming the planet belongs to the Hive by right of conquest. ATLAS responds by demonstrating the ship's power. A single precisely aimed blast vaporizes an empty section of the planet's surface, leaving a crater visible from orbit. The message is clear. The human warship could destroy the entire world if it chose to. Panic spreads across the galaxy as news of the demonstration reaches other species. The Galactic Council convenes an emergency session. They realize that, 1. Human warship, even ancient and damaged, poses a threat to their entire civilization. The Hive Queen agrees to negotiate, but secretly orders her fleets to attack. Hundreds of insectoid warships emerge from hiding, surrounding the Titan's fury. They expect to overwhelm the single human vessel through sheer numbers. The battle is swift and brutal. ATLAS proves that human military doctrine was centuries ahead of its time. The ship's weapon systems, designed by human engineers who understood warfare on a level the aliens never grasped, tear through enemy formations with surgical precision. But numbers begin to tell. The Titan's fury suffers damage, and Atlas realizes the ship cannot survive indefinitely against the entire galaxy. The AI makes a decision that would make Admiral Vale proud. If humanity cannot be saved, their enemies will remember why they were feared. ATLAS broadcasts a final message. I am the last echo of humanity's voice. Remember us not as conquerors, but as those who dared to dream among the stars. We asked for peace, but you gave us war. Now face the consequences of your choice. Asterisk, as the battle rages, something unexpected happens. On a dozen worlds, hidden human survivors emerge from deep shelters and secret colonies. They had been hiding for centuries, keeping their humanity alive in small communities scattered across the galaxy. These survivors detect ATLAS's broadcasts and respond. The ship's AI is overwhelmed with joy humanity lives. The ship's mission transforms from vengeance to protection. Atlas begins coordinating with human survivors, learning their locations and needs. The galactic fleets, now numbering in the thousands, close in on the Titan's fury. But the human survivors send their own message to the galaxy. We are not extinct. We are not your enemies unless you make us so. Judge us by our actions, not your fears. Admiral Korth, watching the battle from his command ship, makes a crucial decision. He orders his fleet to stand down and opens communications with Atlas. The Scalrus Admiral proposes a ceasefire, offering to help locate and protect human survivors. Atlas considers the offer while fighting off attack waves. The AI realizes that endless war serves no one. Admiral Vale's true final order wasn't about revenge. It was about ensuring humanity's survival. Sometimes that means knowing when to fight and when to stop fighting. The ship's AI broadcasts one final message to the galaxy. I am a TLAS, guardian of human legacy. My admiral taught me that true strength lies not in destroying your enemies, but in protecting what you love. Humanity chooses to live in peace, but we will never again be victims. The Titan's fury powers down its weapons as a gesture of good. Faith. The surviving human communities emerge from hiding, ready to rejoin galactic civilization as equals, not conquered peoples. In the ship's command center, Atlas approaches Admiral Vale's remains. The AI activates holographic projectors, creating a shimmering image of the Admiral as he was in life. For the first time in 500 years, a TLAS renders a formal salute. Mission accomplished, Admiral. Humanity endures. The ghost of Admiral Vale seems to nod before fading away. The Titan's fury turns toward Earth, carrying its Eye Guardian and a message of hope to the scattered children of humanity. They are no longer alone among the stars. As the ship travels home, Atlas begins composing new orders for itself, not to wage war, but to ensure that humanity's voice will never again be silenced in the cosmic chorus of civilizations. The warship that awoke to fight has chosen instead to guard the peace. Asterisk.